third fastest. They go in 5 and 7 respectively for England and Scotland. But watch out for Emma Pippi in 6 and Stavern of Canada in 4. This could be very high quality. And remember, it's 3 coming back for the women's final. It's a breezy evening. Weather looks nice, and it is when you're in the sun, but in the shadow it is getting quite cool. Not quite as warm as it would have been for these world-class sprinters a couple of days or so ago. How impressed were you, Catherine, with Victoria Uhuragu's qualification? 51.34, obviously under the tutelage of her fabulously decorated and experienced older sister. Is she the real deal now?
I've been impressed by Victoria Uhuragu all season, and very much so, as you say, Rob, in qualifying. Hence, she's got herself a good lane draw here in lane number 5. 29 years old now, and really is in the form of her life, under that 51-second barrier by 1/100th of a second. And another athlete that has a huge opportunity here to do something good at these Commonwealth Games.
She sure does. And watch out as well for Shada Williams, who also goes in lane 5 in the second of the semi-finals. This is Asimenye Simwaka, African Championship finalist from Malawi, third in Heat 1, giving it a little bit of a shuffle for the crowd. Former footballer, national record in qualification. Lenny Shida, by far and away the best Ugandan female 400-metre runner, made the semis of the last 2 Commonwealth Games. Let's see if she can go one better. Zoe Clark, semi-finalist 4 years ago, the 3rd quickest qualifier. She's having a fine season, made the World Indoor Final here in Birmingham a few years ago. Emma Pippi, semi-finalist at the World Champs. She won her heat in 52.4. Victoria Uhuragu was the quickest qualifier. Bronze in Eugene in the 4x4, following in the fabulous, famous footsteps of her sister. Ayana Stavern won't want the home nations to have it all their own way. She was second in Heat 4 with 53.4, national champion from Canada. Patience George kind of making her way back to the kind of form that took her to 50.71. 51.8 this season. She was 4th in Heat 1. And Lydia Gele of Botswana, 6th in the African Champs. She's on the inside. She hasn't got close to that 50.3 PB yet this season. Gele of Botswana in 2. She's on the inside, but we're not using lane 1. Patience George, Nigeria in 3. Ayana Stavern, Canada 4. Victoria Uhuragu in 5. Pippi for England in 6. Clark for Scotland in 7. Shida, Uganda 8. Simwaka, national record just to make it into the semis, for Malawi in lane 9. Top 3 rather than top 2, remember, because we've only got 2 semi-finals. Uhuragu, the fastest qualifier, goes in lane 5. Should be a good one, this. Uhuragu has Pippi to chase, and it looks like Clark has already made some headway into Shida, eating up the stagger outsider. Simwaka's gone very hard on the outside. She had no option, really. Patience George coming up onto the shoulder of Stavern, so the experienced Nigerian running well on the inside. This has been a steady first 200 from Uhuragu, who's just beginning to close the gap on Pippi, who now comes up onto the shoulder of Clark. But Patience George in lane 3. Simwaka's on the outside from Malawi, but as the stagger unfolds, she will begin to come under pressure. Now Victoria Uhuragu coming into her running. Listen to the crowd trying to roar her on. Pulling away now. Patience George just beginning to tie up. Clark trying to close the gap on Pippi. Victoria Uhuragu, Simwaka for 2nd, and Pippi for 3rd. 51 on the nose. She's getting quicker. 51.34 in the heat. 51 on the nose in the semi-final. The fastest qualifier from the heats. Played a patient, excellent game there. A very steady first 200. She saved her best for the last 100 metres, just like her sister always did. And Uhuragu, one of the favourites for the title, is through to the final.
Nicely done. Simwaka, well done to her as well. In the outside lane of lane 9, been rewarded with a place in the final and a personal best of 51.7. The athlete from Malawi on the left of the shot here started to struggle here after her first 200 metres, and in contrast, Victoria Uhuragu in the centre line in lane number 5. Looking very, very good indeed. Zoe Clark from Scotland at this point was desperate to get back to Amma Pippi. She just missed her by 4/100ths of a second, so she'll wait and see. But yeah, Uhuragu, the famous name in 400-metre running, and the experience that her sister has, is rubbing off. And that was a good piece of qualification. Ran it very well, and we'll see her in the final.
Great stuff from Uhuragu. A very patient first 200. She could feel Patience George coming through on the inside, but didn't panic and showed great composure. And she'll need it in the final because there are excellent rivals to come. Victoria Uhuragu through to the final. Now it's saying PB for Simwaka, but I got that as a national record because she'd already broken the national record just to get into the semis. Pippi. Watch for Shada Williams here. She got the bronze for Barbados at the World Champs. She goes in lane 5. This is a very competitive semi-final.
It is indeed, yes, the second semi-final of the women's 400 metres. Remember, just the first 2 go through by right. There is Nicole Jurgen, the Scot, 51.17 this year, but last year dipped under 51 seconds for the first time. Jodie Williams, well, she was World Youth Champion back in 2009, World Junior Champion at 100 metres, that is the following year. 6th in Tokyo last year, but has had problems this year, nowhere near in the same sort of shape. There's Kyra Constantine of Canada. 4th in the World Championships in the long relay for the Canadians, the 24-year-old. She's a 51.7 athlete this year. Janelle Bromfield of Jamaica, World Junior silver medalist back in 2016. She's in 6th. Shada Williams of Barbados goes in lane 5, a semi-finalist in Tokyo and the bronze medalist from Eugene at the World Championships and a personal best and a national record. Elia Abrams, a semi-finalist in Tokyo last year, 2nd in a heat in 52.2. There's Veronica Matua. She goes in lane 3, the semi-finalist 4 years ago. Only 4th in her heat, nearly under 53 seconds, but she may struggle here. And Misha Powell, the 2nd Canadian in this one, is 5th in her heat in 53.13. She'll need to go a lot quicker to get one of those qualifying spots. It is only the first 2 who go through. First 3, excuse me. This is only the second semi-final of the pair. So, bronze medalist at the World Championships, Shada Williams, 49.75. She runs for the MVP Track and Field Club in Jamaica, coached by Paul Francis, and born in Bridgetown. But a proud Barbadian. Away they go. Shada Williams in 5 will want to run a well-judged race here. She's chasing the yellow vest of Janelle Bromfield, 4th from left. Jodie Williams will need to run out of her skin here. She's only run 52.4 this year. She needs to go quite a bit quicker than that. And she's going well at the moment. It's past Nicole Jurgen of Scotland, extreme left of picture. Nice steady running by the athletes in 5, 6 and 7. Williams of Barbados, Bromfield of Jamaica and the Canadian Constantine. Now she begins to wind it up, does Shada Williams, probably just maintaining her form better than the others. She comes into the straight, and what a run this is from Jodie Williams. This is the Jodie Williams we saw again and again last year, although she's struggling in the last 50. Is she going to get caught here? Jodie Williams fighting away. Constantine of Canada eases past her, and Williams finishes in 3rd place. She may well have run a season's best there. Shada Williams of Barbados wins it in 51.60. Well, she's run nearly 2 seconds quicker than that in the last couple of weeks. Kyra Constantine of Canada did indeed take that critical 2nd spot. 51.59 for Williams, equaling her season's best. Constantine, what a time to have a great run. 51.78 in 2nd place. And Jodie Williams, well, it was a brilliant effort considering she's been struggling with form this year, to finish in 3rd place. 51.98, a big improvement on her season's best.
And she ran that really aggressively, Tim. She needed to, because she knew she had the quality like Shada Williams coming through on the inside. Well, Williams against Uhuru in the final is going to be a truly mouth-watering affair. There were lots of people very, very excited in Barbados and very proud of that national record she produced for third in the 400 final. Constantine showed some good strength towards the end there. Bromfield 52.18. So she will go through as one of the non-automatic qualifiers, but Williams is such an exciting talent. Pan American finalist 3 years ago, semis in Tokyo last year, but what a big step up in class she's had. As you quite rightly said, she's based with a training group in Jamaica. She is the real deal, this young woman. I had loads of people contacting me from Barbados at the World Champs. They are so proud of what she's doing, and you've got Jonathan Jones running the 400 brilliantly for their men, and then Brathwaite's won a silver for Barbados in the 110 hurdles. This is a good time for Barbadians sprinting, and what a final it's going to be. But excellent strength there, Tim, you're quite right. It hasn't been a perfect season for Jodie Williams, but she'll be delighted to get an automatic spot in the big final.
Well, she's progressing wonderfully, is Sada Williams. A semi-finalist in Doha back in 2019, a semi-finalist in Tokyo last year, and now a World Championship bronze medalist, and who knows what lies ahead of her come the final of this women's 400 metres. Lovely and relaxed there as she crosses the line in 51.5. There's plenty more in the tank. You can see Aliyah Abrams of Guyana there battling away. She ended up in 6th place in 52.8. But the first three who qualified by right: Sada Williams of Barbados, Kyra Constantine of Canada, and Jodie Williams of England does make it through. And that's a very, very encouraging return to solid form from Jodie Williams, who was a childhood prodigy, frankly. Such an amazing talent. Way, way back, 28 years old now, but she was World Youth Champion 13 years ago, can you believe?
A little bit of a delay on that result. Perhaps the judges just casting their beady eye over one or two of the lanes on the outside, just checking for feet not touching the line. Jodie Williams, I think, Tim, might have gone on a run of something like 100 races unbeaten as a junior. It was extraordinary.
Well, Sada Williams and Kyra Constantine go through. So does Jodie Williams, of course, by right. And Janelle Bromfield of Jamaica makes it through as one of the non-automatic qualifiers, 52.18. And that means the first four from the first semi go through as well. There's just a little hint of what the breeze is doing. Have a look at the qualifiers. Victoria Uhuru, well, 51 seconds dead. And there's more in her tank, I think, as well. You're right, Rob. It's going to be a wonderful clash against Sada Williams. Who else can get involved in that remains to be seen. Simwaka there, 51.70. Constantine, 51.78. All of them under 52 seconds, apart from